Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I've had a curiosity kind of niggling in my mind for a while of wanting to really explore the difference between my Laban Rosa and a Jinhao 100. And so I wanted to put the same ink in both pens and use it and report back on how it is. So the ink that I wanted to use is Mad Hatter by Wearingle. Has a holographic label, but it's a nice green that goes well with the colors in this pen, and I do really like this ink. So again, I'm going to put the same ink in both pens. This is a standard ink. There's no shimmer, no sheen. It is a basic ink. I like to use just a plain white tea to wipe off my pens. So let me just ink these up. And wipe off the excess. Now both are with a extra fine nib. So this is the Laban nib. And the Jinhao. All right, so both were very easy to ink up. No muss, no fuss. This is the Jinhao nib. And so both also have a two-tone nib. I've got to rinse out the inside of that. I had this inked up with Konpeki previously, and there's a little bit of Konpeki in the cap. I have a cup of water here, so let me just do a little rinse. Okay. All right, so it's gonna need a moment to dry. Slash a little shake out because I do have to put a cap on this pen. There we go. In terms of size, they're a very similar size, very similar in girth of pen, very similar in length. The Laban has pointed ends versus the Jinhao has a flat end. The Laban has this gold band right here. This has a much larger, much more yellow gold band. This is a little bit more of a champagne-y color. The clip, different shape, different length. And the finials. Now let's get a piece of paper and we'll do a little writing sample. And then I will keep using these two pens and report back on that writing experience. So we'll start with the Laban. I just bumped that. So this is Laban Rosa with an extra fine nib. and it is inked up with Wearingeul Mad Hatter. This is a wetter extra fine nib. Let's do this and wait. 1, 2, 3. Still pretty wet. And let's try the Jinhao 100. Now that's a little wet from the cap. There we go. There we go. A little hair there. Oops. I think it's a Jinhao 100 Classic. And this is writing exceptionally dry. Wearingeul Mad Hatter. And as of right now, I do not like this at all. That's yucky. So you can see it didn't put down nearly as much ink. Let's try the same. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm wondering, do I need to... I mean, it's very different. For both of them being an extra fine, this is definitely a much wetter writer. And if this continues to write like this, it will not stay inked up for too long. And I might, I don't really have any fun tools to do any changes. But one of the things that I did notice when I looked back, there we go. Oh gosh, I wasn't even in frame. Is that this side of the nib, where the slit is, does not seem like it's actually down the middle. It seems like this side is narrower than this side. Oops, there we go. Yeah. So if anyone has any recommendations, please share them. I don't have a shim. I think it's a brass shim. I do not have that. So I'm a little limited, but I can do a little bit of, like, I guess, pressure work, which there is just a little bit of give in this nib. And maybe if I keep doing that, I can get it to run a little bit wetter without popping. And it's got some bounce to it. But then without pressure, it is just very, very extra fine. Now let me just try the Jinhao to see how much bounce that has. But I don't really need to bounce it. That has a very similar amount of bounce. but it is just a much wetter nib. Now getting kind of a close up there and turn it over. Actually, let me do a little side by side. So you can see the tipping on the Jinhao right here is significantly different than the tipping on the Jinhao. So that's probably a big reason for the difference in ink flow. Now looking, then the feeds look fairly similar. And the two-tone is just a little bit different on each pen. So the Jinhao has gold at the tip of the nib versus Laban has silver. But in terms of nib length, it's very similar, if not exactly the same. So this will be a project that I have over the next couple of days / weeks. I'm going to try to do some longer session journaling, especially with this pen. I have not used it really much at all since getting it versus my Laban. I have used a good amount. So if I commit some time to using this pen, it may start to flow a little wetter. We shall see. So check back for my update on the Laban Rosa versus Jinhao 100. All right. Thank you.